Uh, Next up is iAngels. iAngels is the first equity crowdfunding platform that offers private investors around the world access to Israel's top angel startup investments. For the first time, global investors are able to co-invest with an exclusive network of Israel's leading angel investors and gain insider access to Israel's promising early-stage startups. I have here one of our founders of iAngels, Shelly Hod Moyal.
Hello, everybody. I'm very glad to be here today. As Alon said, iAngels is a crowdfunding platform that allows private investors to invest in Israel's startups alongside Israel's top angels. Now, my background is financial. I actually spent a couple of years in New York. I worked on Wall Street. And a couple of months ago, my good friend Mor Asya, who has a technological background, came to me with this great idea. Why don't we put together this platform? We have amazing access because our husbands are entrepreneurs and everybody in the family knows technology and we know startups and we know angels. Let's get people from around the world to invest in Israel. And I was like, wow, that sounds really cool, but also scary and risky and dangerous. And as a financial person, I was telling Mor that we should really think about how we need to make it very high quality, how we need to make it something that would be valuable for everyone, and especially investors that really don't have access to startups in Israel. And we thought about it a lot in a couple of months, and we consulted with angels, and we came to the conclusion that the best course of action when you want to invest in something that you don't necessarily have experience in, sticking with the smartest people in the room. And that's exactly what we do. We find the most experienced, desirable investors in Israel, the ones that every single startup investor in Israel wants them as investors, and we co-invest with them. And we know that they are these investors because when we wanted to start up, they're the first persons we called, and we were lucky enough to build these relationships with them and get our incentives aligned and get them on board, and we work together very closely to enable people to join them in their rounds of finance under the same terms. A little bit about how early stage investing in Israel works today. Basically, I don't know if a lot of you are aware of this, but there are about 3,500 startups in Israel. This is the largest density of startups per capita in the world. In terms of availability of capital, Israel is definitely not the highest ranked. In fact, there are only 500 angel investors in Israel, out of which about 30 of them are really active. So in terms of angel capital per startups, Israel is ranked very, very low. And the result is that there's really not a lot of competition between the angels, and the angels have a very high negotiating power. So for example, if you look at the startup ecosystem in Silicon Valley, it's much, much different. Angels in Silicon Valley are fighting over deals. Valuations are much higher, typically 2 times the valuations, the seed valuations in Israel. And we think it's really interesting investing in Israel just from that perspective, and also from the perspective of Israel being a startup nation and a very interesting country to invest in. The solution really tries to create a platform that combines 2 worlds, that for one combines the wisdom of angels, the wisdom of professional investors that have a track record, that have exits, that know what they're doing, that have operational experience, and on the other hand, wisdom of crowds. Today, a lot of people worry about crowdfunding, that people look at it as blind money. How do I know what I'm investing in? How do I know what deals I should choose? How do I know these deal terms are good? And we really feel that having that professional guidance along with the wisdom of the followers, creates a great value proposition. So there are three reasons we believe investing in iAngels is really great. First of all, investing in Startup Nation can be very lucrative, as we've seen over the past couple of years. Co-investment with professional angels. And three, a compelling value proposition. So I'll talk a little bit about Israel. Many of you have heard a lot in the news about everything that's going on in Israel. I don't know if you know these facts. Israel has had, since 2011, about 290 exits with an aggregate value of $25 billion. These were some of the best years in Israel, literally. And guess what? 2014, it's supposed to be even better. There are 15 IPOs that are expected this year, some of which are happening. There's one expected 2 days from now. I know it because it's my husband's company. And these are the exits that happened to date. A lot of things contributing to this trend. First of all, entrepreneurs in Israel have matured. First and second and third time entrepreneurs that continue to innovate, continue to build companies. In fact, some of the entrepreneurs that exited in 2013 are literally already working on their next startup. They also become angels in their own right and help really grow a new generation of entrepreneurs. In addition, all the large, mega, global technology companies have been very, very active in Israel. They've been acquiring companies in Israel and establishing R&D centers. Today, there are over 300 global technology companies in Israel. They're employing more than 50,000 people. Now, these companies, needless to say, after they've made acquisitions in Israel, established a presence there, know the culture, have been successful in integrating these companies, they feel much more comfortable doing it again, and they are doing it again and again. Last year, Facebook established its presence here with the acquisition of Onavo. The year before that, Apple with Anabit. Google, of course, strengthened its presence because the R&D of Waze is staying in Israel. And this trend is, of course, going to continue. Co-investment with angels, we talked about it before. These are some of the angels in our networks. Some of you may recognize them if you're familiar with Israel. Some of these are the most active angel investors in Israel. We believe that on aggregate, the angels we work with, and we didn't even include all of them on the list, they see at least 95% of the market. There is no platform in the world that has this visibility into the startup early stage investment in Israel, and we leverage it to the very end. When we get a deal from one of these angels, we call up every single one of the other ones. We call up everybody in the industry. Why did you invest? Why didn't you invest? What did you think? What are the risks? We really get all the business intelligence until we even meet with the company. And this is very helpful to us. In fact, we've reached a point in which some of these angels actually call us and ask us what we heard about the company and what we thought about the company. So we're really creating a hub around angel investing in Israel. Compelling value proposition. So today, you want to invest in VC in Israel, you really don't have a lot of choices. You can either go alone, which means that you need access, which means that you usually need about $100,000 to get in. Harder to diversify because the tickets are so large. So that's one. Invest in a VC fund. To invest in a VC fund, you need around $1 million if you're investing in one of the medium funds. But if you're investing in Sequoia, it's probably closer to $5 million. And you really have no discretion over the investments they choose. Investing in other crowdfunding sites, there are different models. Some put more of an emphasis on curation, some put less. But really in iAngels, we believe that you get to enjoy the best of both worlds. You get to enjoy diversification, access, and curation. So that's iAngels in a nutshell. I hope I didn't go over too much.
Shelley, I have a question for you. How is iAngels different than investing in a VC?
Oh, I actually just mentioned it. The difference between investing in a VC and investing in iAngels is that you don't need to make any commitment upfront. You can invest on a deal-by-deal basis. You have the discretion to choose your own investment low as $5,000. This is really to enable people to come in, see how it feels for them, get comfortable. We actually see that the average investment size on our platform is around $20,000, but we really want to have the fees, the investment amount accessible to a lot of people. In addition, difference in the fee structure. In a VC fund, you typically pay 2% a year or 1.5% a year over several years. I think today the average is about 7-8 years. In addition, you pay direct expenses. Net, you pay around 18% on your VC, as well as carried interest of 20%. With iAngels, you pay an administrative fee of 5%. This is diligence fees, our initial setup, our financial advisory, and afterwards 15% carry.
Thank you. I have another question for you. What are the benefits of investing through the platform?
Well, we believe the benefits are really being able to invest alongside the top Israeli angels, being able to leverage their negotiating power, being able to leverage their added value to the portfolio companies. We only invest alongside active investors. We're never going to invest, we're never going to co-invest with an angel that does not take an active role in the company. And once we reach our target of investment amount, we aggregate all the investments and come in as one entity. And we end up being a pretty large shareholder. Shareholder, we enjoy all the major shareholder rights, which are really important because we get rights, all the future participation rights. This means that if you invested $5,000 in round B, C, and D, we're going to let you continue maintaining your position, even though you invested only $5,000. I think this is revolutionary in terms of financing and venture capital.
Thank you. Let's see if our guests have questions.
I can speak up. I think if I'm a private investor, would I have the same terms as, let's say, the angels if I invest with your company?
Yes, that's exactly so. We enter, we sign exactly the same definitive agreements as the angel investors. I can tell you another thing. We have a rule that if we're entering a transaction alongside an angel investor who participated in the previous round, then there must be an additional top angel that is investing for the first time in the specific round we're investing in. And this rule is very strict, and it is really to avoid adverse selection and make sure that we're really investing under the same terms of the angels. So every jurisdiction has its own requirements. Currently, we're able to offer only to accredited investors in the U.S. And in Europe. In Israel, we also offer primarily to accredited investors. We're allowed up to 30. We're allowed to offer to up to 35 non-accredited investors, but we don't tend to do so. So that's. I don't understand the question. We're like one big angel.
So thank you. We will proceed with our next presenter. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
Our next presenter.